I'm sure we've gone through the squad, like you saw it. You saw something interestingly missing, and that's the name of the captain for the Black Stars team, Dede Ayew. He has been left out of these 2 games for the Black Stars team. Why? Why has the captain been left out of this particular roster for these 2 games? And does it also mean that he's going to be left out forever?
Entirely from the Black Stars.
Let's take a listen to the coach, Ayew'S, explain the rationale or reason why Ayew did not make the squad for these 2 games for Ghana.
So the first thing you asked about Andre. So I had a long talk with Andre, personal. I visited him, gave him the reasons why he's not in the squad at the moment. And I usually held it like this, that I don't talk too much about the players who are not in the squad, more about those who are in the squad. And for me, I can say I don't like I talk to players directly. I don't like to give information out about what we spoke about. So he's not part of the squad at the moment. Andre is, I mean, as everyone knows, he's a legend. He's a living legend of Ghana. What he has reached, it's unbelievable what he did for the country. It was a difficult decision, to be honest, because I like him. I like him as a person, also as a player. But this is the decision we took, and I like I said, it's not like we totally agreed, but I give him the explanation, and so I don't want to take it to another extent and say some things that people will write about and this and that. I know it's difficult maybe for you as a press to understand this, but I don't want to make it bigger than it is. Like I said, I have big respect for him. He's a living legend. He holds the record in games playing for the national team. He has, I mean, achieved things that just a few players from Ghana has achieved, and it's very difficult to leave him out at the moment. But at the end, me as a coach, I have to take decisions. The best decision, what I think for the team, and this was one part of the decisions. And the type of coach I don't know. For me, I always try to learn. I'm a coach who wants to learn, wants to listen, wants to take advice, even from lower-ranked coaches. I'm always open for discussions with other coaches. So I'm a learning coach, and I learn a lot from Guardiola. I learn a lot from Mourinho. I learn a lot.
And that is Ayew'S, first of all, explaining how he went about leaving out Dede Ayew. Spoke to him personally and explained to him why he was leaving him out, even though he said Andre didn't agree with him eventually on that, but it was for him to decide as a coach. And he had to agree eventually to let him not be part of the Black Stars team.
For me, I think whatever, like he said, I agree with what Ayew'S said, that whatever he talks in private with his players, especially those not in his squad, it's difficult for him to come out there to tell us exactly, because we all wanted to know exactly what he said to Dede Ayew to make sure that he's out of the team. And he said it's private, and he wants to keep that respect at that. So we don't know the exact details, what really that he said to Dede Ayew. That one, we all don't know.
Absolutely. And it cannot even come out to give the details. It will be
as to why.
Breaking a very special bond you have with players. You don't bring out conversations you've had in private.
Yeah, exactly.
But it's important that you have to also speak to the player involved directly and let him understand why he was doing what he was doing before announcing it. Because he's not talking about any mere member of the Black Stars. He's talking about the most capped player in the Black Stars.
Yeah.
Talking about the captain for the Black Stars team.
He's made over 100 caps for the
over 120 caps.
120 caps
with the Black Stars. Scoring over 20 goals in that total. I mean, that return for him at the Black Stars team.
And I think it was difficult for Dede because, you know, he's been phenomenal towards the end of the season, scoring goals back to back and all that. So it will come like quite a surprise to him that why he's being excluded from the team. But I mean, the coach is the coach.
So Dede Ayew for his team Le Havre this season has scored 5 goals in some 17 appearances for Le Havre in the French league.
Especially towards the end of the season.
He seems to have picked up good form towards the end of the season. Even in better form than when we took him to the AFCON.
Exactly.
Earlier
he
in
returned,
the year.
He returned from AFCON.
Form with Le Havre in the French league. So for the coach to have left him out to tell us that the coach is looking at something bigger, something more than just footballing reasons or playing on the field of play and getting goals. I recall at some time past, I heard in some quarters that the coach is now planning to go and his focus is the future. So he's going to be speaking to players who have advanced in age because he wants to move on from those players.
Yeah.
I recall even at some point mentioning some of the names on radio and TV. I made mention of Andre as one, and I mentioned Amati as the other.
Yeah.
Because those two guys were the most older, the oldest players we had in the Black Stars squad in terms of age.
Age, yeah.
And interestingly, look
but
at the squad.
At the press briefing, he mentioned that though it's that, but it doesn't also really, to him, it's not only about the age because sometimes that age also matters. It's really your experience. He wants that experience that you can pass on to the younger ones as well. So he can't only do all the young ones, but he will need one or two players. But this decision with leaving Dede Ayew, he mentioned that it's a very difficult decision for him to make. But for the betterment, like to put that word, for the best of the team, he had to go that way.
Absolutely. That's the coach speaking the way he had to speak. This is Benjamin Yamwan. This is how I want to speak.
Right.
I'm asking some very interesting questions at this point in time on the show. I'm asking some very interesting questions at this point in time on the show on the exclusion of Dede Ayew from the Black Stars squad. Is it just going to be for these two games, the games against Mali and against CAR in June, that we're going to have Captain Dede Ayew miss out for the Black Stars? Is it a case that Dede Ayew will make a return in the future to join and play for the Black Stars team? What is it? Or is it that it is a done deal as far as Dede Ayew's relationship with the Black Stars is concerned? 3 questions I've asked that I'm going to try to seek answers to because we need to get that clarity on this. One thing is obvious and clear. There are always starts, just as there are endings to everything that has a beginning, like it is said. Andre joined the Black Stars squad in 2007. That's when he joined the Black Stars squad. Yeah. It tells you he's into almost 2 decades with the Black Stars team.
Which is 20 years.
Almost 20 years with the Black Stars. 27, we're in 2024, so about 17 years thereabout in the Black Stars team. He's played over 120 times for the Black Stars. 120 caps. That's 20 times. That's what it means. Scoring some 24, 27 goals. I can't recall the exact figure in that period for the Black Stars team. As we speak, Dede Ayew is Ghana's most capped player. The figures or the stats speak for itself. He has done tremendously well for the Black Stars. As a player, as a captain, he has served and has given his all. He's one of those players, you can never question his commitment. When he dons the national colours, he gives his all, and it's evident in how he plays his football for the national team over the years. But in the last 2-3 years, it's become a bit evident and clear that his role in the Black Stars team seems to have diminished some way, somehow. Because the Dede Ayew of years would always start in games for the Black Stars. But in the last couple of years, we've realized that Dede Ayew has been given bit part roles in the Black Stars team, in that he barely starts in games for the Black Stars. What he does is on the bench and will come on at some point in time. Under Chris Hughton, that's when it all began. Even at the World Cup, we saw his role in the Black Stars team. At the last AFCON, we saw his role with the Black Stars team. Even in some games in the qualifiers for both AFCON and the World Cup, he has been left out and on the bench mostly. So it's become clear that his role in the team has been reduced a bit, and it's obvious because of the advancement in age, and which of course affects your ability to also go all out and give your all. Andre is now 34 years. So clearly, he's advancing in age. if you take your mind back and look at all the peers of Andre Ayew with the U20 squad that won in 2009, most of them have retired from football.
They've retired.
Andre still is strong and playing on, but clearly his role seems to have diminished and reduced a bit. So perhaps the coach, together with the FA, are beginning to look into the future of the Black Stars without Andre Ayew, which, for me, if it is the case, is, I think, quite fair. Now, I remember speaking to a couple of ex-Black Stars players, I won't mention their names, who have said that football is such that the players cannot be forced to retire. They decide when to retire.
Yeah.
So if you don't want them to be part of your team, it's on you, the handlers, to not invite or call them. But once you call them, they are there to come and serve. But if you feel their impact and influence in your team, it's not needed because clearly they are going down with their proficiency and all of that. You can leave them out. So I'm only asking questions. Otto Addo, the Black Stars, and the GFA. With this piece of news that has been released to all of us, is it a case that, like I asked earlier on, Andre Ayew's future or relationship with the Black Stars, I should say, is now over? Is it an end of an era from 2007 to 2024? Is it the end of an era? Or is this just one of those things where a player is set up for just some 2 games and will make a return for other games to be played by the same national team? We'll wait.
But we are waiting to see.
Yes,
after
we'll wait and
the
see. After these 2
CAA
games,
game and then Mali.
we'll wait and see the next game that will come for the Stars, whether Andre will be given a call-up into the team again, or it will be a case of a bye-bye to Andre Ayew. Now we are told, in his absence, Thomas Partey will be the captain for the Black Stars team. We are hoping that Thomas, who is a bit younger, together with Mohamed Kudus, who is about the most informed Ghanaian player now on the European front, no doubt about that, and all the others who are in a team, experienced and then young, old and then new, can now blend together and ensure that the all-important qualifiers for the World Cup in USA, Canada, and Mexico in 2026, we get back on a sound footing, because we got the qualifiers on a very poor and a bad note. Currently, we've played 2 games. We have 3 points. Mali have played 2 as well. They are on 4.
Yeah.
And Mali currently are the clear favorites or rivals, if you like, to Ghana in that group. We play them this next month in the first game for the qualifiers next month in Bamako, not in Ghana, Bamako in Mali. The obvious task for Otto Addo is to go out there to Bamako and ensure he does not lose to Mali. Because if he loses to Mali, Mali will jump to 7 points. Ghana will be on a 3 with 3 games played for the 2 teams. That will mean that we are allowing the Malians to open up a bigger gap over that of Ghana. So the task for Otto, I'm sure he's been told, when they begin camping from tomorrow whether in Accra or wherever they will begin the camping from, will be that when they go to Bamako in Mali, for that game especially, they cannot afford to lose. And even against CR, we go away as well.
Central African.
It's not in Ghana. All the 2 games are away from Ghana.
But when they move to, they will do 2 days camping. When they move to Mali to play, they'll come back to spend another 2 days here to prepare. I'm just trying to say that 2 games are away from Ghana. They're not in Ghana. all away from Ghana, exactly.
So it means that tough battles away the team. The last time we went to CAR, we drew with them. In CR, and I think we drew 1-1 or so with the CR team. So it will not be easy for that fixture. As for Mali, you and I know them. They have got great players in their squad. They are one of the African greats or giants now. At the Nations Cup,
Otto himself mentioned, I think his eyes is on the Mali game.
Because they are the great side.
Yeah, they are the greatest side now.
Absolutely, in the group.
Exactly. So he mentioned.
So for Otto, you know them. Monica tells me you are very much aware of that team and how they will fare against Ghana. Against Mali, your roster, the squad you have released, minus Andre Ayew. Let's begin to see a template of how you want your Black Stars to play. And then let's not lose that game in Bamako against Mali. I don't mind if we draw. A draw, a win, fantastic. But we cannot afford to lose against Mali in Bamako. That one, we can't afford it. If we lose, it could spell doom for our qualifying series for the World Cup in those 3 nations. It's important to, I always say it.
He himself says, he said
He knows
that
it.
he knows it. That